Well, now to a murder case that seems to show a sort of random violence that may well be unleashed again unless the man responsible is caught. In March this year, a minicab driver was ferociously stabbed to death. His body was found in the back of his own car near Heathrow Airport. Now, that was the second time a cab driver had been found dead in the same area and in similar circumstances.
Heathrow is on the western tip of London, a city in its own right, alive 24 hours a day with travellers and airport workers. In recent months, in or near it, 2 men have died in separate and frenzied knife attacks. Stephen Sylvester was 39. He worked as a driver for Skyway's minicabs at Kingsley Road near Hounslow East Tube Station, some 4 miles from the airport. It's a Wednesday night last November. Stephen usually worked overnight, and in the early hours of Thursday, the date November the 17th, he drove back to the office after taking a fare to nearby Feltham.
Stephen.
Hi.
Well, things are very quiet now. You better take over. I'll see you in the morning.
Oh, cool.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
It's 2:30 in the morning. Now the controller and the other driver have gone home to sleep. Stephen's on his own. At some point between 2:30 and 3:30, Stephen must have left the office, presumably with another fare. Whether he responded to a phone call or someone visited the office is still unknown. What is known is that this was the last trip Stephen ever took alive.
Where to now, Gov?
Yeah, left to the next one.
Hey?
Turn left.
At some point, Stephen got into the back seat, or was forced there, and in a frantic and bloody attack was knifed to death. With Stephen's body in the boot, the killer then took the wheel and drove the car towards the airport. Maybe he worked there. Maybe he was flying off somewhere. Why did he head towards the short-term car park at Terminal 3? Perhaps he hoped that in a crowded car park, the vehicle would not be found. The police know that he got here at 4:05 a.m. He dropped the entrance ticket on the floor of the car. At this time of night, the upper floors are blocked off and only the ground floor is used for parking, mainly by night shift workers at the airport. Whoever killed Stephen would have been heavily bloodstained. Someone must have seen him. Did he go to one of the toilets to wash off the blood? Did he catch a plane or hitch a lift back to London or elsewhere? 4 days later, on Monday, November the 21st, police who'd been looking for Stephen found his blood-stained car abandoned in the car park and discovered the awful truth.
Hunter Delta from 572, active message over.
It seemed like a crazy but an isolated crime. Then, 6 months after the Heathrow murder, there was another killing in the same area. And it was like the first. The victim was a driver with Blue Star minicabs of Martindale Road near Hounslow West. Pardeep Sangha helped out his father-in-law, driving part-time on weekday evenings. The cars there weren't equipped with radios, so after each fare the driver had to return to base. It was Friday evening, the 30th of March this year, the day before the Grand National. Pardeep had already made about a dozen journeys that night and returned to the office to wait for further calls. At about midnight, a man rang from a call box not far away.
Hello, yeah. I want a cab to go to Feltham. Yeah, at a phone box near some traffic lights on the Great West Road. No, the next traffic lights.
At about the same time, a tall soldier and 2 young girls called at the Blue Star office. They too were asking to be taken to Feltham. Because of inconsistencies in the minicab log sheets, the police don't know which call Pardeep responded to first, the soldier and 2 girls who wanted to go to Feltham, or the still untraced caller from the phone box at the Lambton Road junction. Near the phone box is the Boom Boom Wine Bar and the Heathrow Tandoori Curry House. It may be that someone who'd been eating or drinking in the area noticed the man waiting for a cab. They may even remember if Pardeep did pick him up. It's only 4 miles from Hounslow to Feltham, and at around midnight the trip wouldn't have taken long. So Pardeep could have done both trips, or even picked up someone else in the Feltham area. The next thing that's known for certain took place on a slip road off the A30, close to the airport's southern perimeter fence. The car had run out of petrol. The killer tried to open the boot, but couldn't. He was unable to take the keys out of the ignition. He must have walked away. Perhaps he hitchhiked. The time between 12:30 and 2 in the morning of Saturday the 31st of March. Even at that time of night, the Great Southwest Road is busy, especially with lorries. Someone must have noticed the car stranded there. At 2 a.m, Pardeep was found slumped behind the passenger seat. He'd been frenziedly stabbed to death. Some credit cards were missing, along with a small amount of money. So the killer is possibly a racist, possibly a robber, apparently a psychopath. Detective Chief Superintendent John Pole is the man hunting for him. You tell me that he's tall, but you won't tell me why you think he's a tall man. And you've brought some knives. It looks like he's a knife freak as well.
Yes, that's so. This is a replica of an English commando knife issued during the last war. It was found in Sylvester's cab underneath the front passenger seat. We know it's not Sylvester's knife. It doesn't appear to be the murder weapon.
But possibly dropped there or almost certainly put there by the murderer.
Yes. Here, this is a US M3 American Army trench knife issued to the American commandos. Found about 2¼ miles further along the A30, hidden behind a GPO junction box. We're satisfied this is the murder weapon in the case of Sangha. Sangha lost, or was carrying that evening, a ceremonial knife, because he's a Sikh, or a Karpan. His particular knife is missing. This is one similar to it, but the one that's missing has a blue band around it.
So anyone who found a Karpan like this, but with a blue instead of the orange band,
yes,
you want to hear from them. These
yes,
keys, where do they come from? They look like clock keys or watch keys
the
or
pocket
something.
watch keys. They were found at the rear of Sylvester's car in the car park. I don't know if they have any connection with this case. I'm just curious to know how they got there.
Right. Now, you want, obviously, to find out who made the phone call to Pardeep Sangha. That was from the Lambton Road junction of the Great West Road, is
Yes,
it?
yes.
Anybody who made a phone call on that night, which was, what, the 30th of March, wasn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
And then there are the people that must have been in the vicinity at that time. This is where the car was abandoned on the South Perimeter Road of the airport.
Yes, well, we're happy now. The car was there about 1:45. It seems about the same time. There was a man in his 50s in a red tracksuit jogging. About 1:45, there was a man with bushy hair and a bushy beard exercising his dog. Neither of those people we've been yet able to find. Later on, about the same time, a man was seen standing right next to the car. A man in his late 30s, early 40s, wearing a two-piece grey suit with grey or sandy-coloured hair. And he was seen actually by the car. That's about an hour after we know it was there.
This is Friday the 30th of March, or it may have been early in the morning of Saturday,
Yes.
the 31st.
31st,
Right, Mr. Powell, thank you very much indeed. Now, if you think you can help in any way, please don't let a murder like this happen again. Looking for a tall man, possibly a knife freak, all the other clues you've heard. The number, if you know anything, 01811 8055. That's here at Crimewatch. Or you can call Heathrow Police Station direct. That's 01897 7373 01897 7373.